Thursday, May 27th. We are here in Buffalo, New York with Nancy. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Colin.
I'm Shochette.
I'm David.
I'm Annalisa.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Jalissa.
I'm Nancy.
So, would you just tell us your story?
In common with you, we have in Buffalo a Ride for Roswell. Roswell Park Cancer Institute is our major hospital facility that takes care of individuals who have been diagnosed with cancer. And it's been around for a long time, but it's become larger and more important as the years have passed. And I want to say 21 years ago, a gentleman who was a survivor of cancer started the Ride for Roswell. It was very small, and now it is this mammoth bike ride. It started out as 10, 15 mile, and now they have a 5 mile, a 10 mile, 20 mile, 30 mile. They have a century, and we have thousands of participants, and they raise thousands and thousands of dollars. I participated. This will be my 5th year. It happens at the end of June. So I guess I have that in common with you, is biking. The first year I did it, I was able to raise between $700 and $800, and I was pretty impressed with that. I did not realize that there is this extra mile club, and that is for people who are able to raise over $1,000, and I thought, I was disappointed when I realized there was. I thought, wow, with a little bit more push, I could have raised that much money. So after my first year, just finishing the ride, which was 35 miles, was good for me. I was very happy to finish the ride. The next year, I tried to do something more every year, and the next year, I joined the Extra Mile Club. I was able to raise, and so last year, I was so close to $2,000 that this year I've upped my contribution to $2,000, hopefully, that I will be able to raise. The other thing they have is an opening ceremony, and after my second year, I went to the opening ceremony, which is the Friday before, and I had never gone before, and while I was there, the most moving aspect of that was that I really saw survivors, because the stands were full of people who are sitting in orange shirts, and anyone in an orange shirt is a survivor. And in my experience with cancer, I hadn't had any survivor experiences. And so it just blew me away. And I also saw the Peloton riders come in, and each one of them comes in, and they are holding a card of a current patient at Roswell. And it just, that was my motivation for the next year. I wanted to be in the Peloton. I wasn't able to do it the following year, but I did ride to Canada, and that was really pretty spectacular. Last year I did my first Peloton ride, and I'm hoping to do that again this year. And that actually is a formation ride from Roswell Park, about 12 miles out to UB, and into the opening ceremonies. Getting involved with the Ride for Roswell was as a result, I guess, of my experiences with cancer patients. And I guess as I was thinking about it today, my very first experience with someone with cancer close to me was my grandfather, and he was in his 80s, and I guess it didn't manifest itself so deeply because he was an older gentleman. And the more significant impact to me was when my brother was diagnosed at 39 and passed away 3 months later from lymphoma at 40, leaving a wife and my 2 nieces, who were 7 and 3 at the time, and how that changed our family, and how I saw my parents struggle with the death of their oldest son, and being a daughter, and I have a younger brother, and one of the things that we had done was we started a golf tournament to raise funds to hopefully assist them with their college tuition fees or whatever they might need. We did that for 5 years, and I think that it was my older brother loved golf, and this was the perfect way of honoring his memory, but also trying to do something special. About 5 years ago, my father was diagnosed with melanoma. And again, it was a very sudden, it just came and left, and he was gone, but he was in his 80s. And so kept with me the fact that he had lived a good long life, that he had seen his children grow up and be successful, and his grandchildren. But I think the devastating aspect of cancer is that it doesn't seem to have any warning, or it doesn't affect certain people, and it comes without plan. And since that time, in those years, since 20 years ago when my brother passed away, I guess many more people in my life, special people, close people, not, young people and old people, have, as I said, I don't have any survivor stories. So I have in my personal experiences. So that's the one thing about Roswell, was seeing that there are survivors and being able to be a part in some small way of trying, hopefully, to find a cure, is why I ride for Roswell. My success stories aren't there in terms of their ability to treat my family, but I just hope and I pray that through the small amount that I'm able to contribute, I can affect a change for somebody else, I hope. So I guess that's my story.